Good day, everyone. I am Dr. Boladu Ogudawale Emmanuel. I welcome you to the study of biblical languages. Biblical languages comprise of Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. I am your anchor for the study of the New Testament Greek. The question this morning is, why should we study Greek? That's the first thing we'll be looking at this morning. Why should we study Greek? And number two, I will also take you through just a summary process of learning Greek. Is learning Greek difficult? I will discuss that with you. Is learning Greek difficult? And number three, I will share with you the tips for success. If you really want to succeed in your study of biblical languages, I will give you the tips for success. Then number four, I will share with you your responsibility as a student, as a learner of biblical languages, your responsibility. Then number five, I will be sharing with you the place of the Greek language among the languages of the world. The place of the Greek language among the languages of the world. Then number one, why should we study Greek? Why Greek? How relevant is Greek to us? Does Greek has anything to do with Christianity, with our faith, with salvation, with our relationship with God? So what is the place of Greek? So why study Greek? So why should we take the trouble, the pain to learn a language with grammar, an alphabet, which are strange to us, and which was used by people who lived long ago, far away, in situations different from our own? Now, studying Greek will help us in several ways. Number one, the New Testament was first written in Greek. The only Bible we have in our hands, which we have the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament is the Hebrew Bible. The Hebrew Bible, that is the Old Testament. And the New Testament, from Matthew to Revelation, is the Greek New Testament. So the Old Testament, which is from Genesis to Malachi, that is the Old Testament that was written in Hebrew. And both the Old Testament and the New Testament have elements of Aramaic. So there are three languages used in the Bible: Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. So the New Testament was first written in Greek, and it is the source of what Christians believe. So what you and I believe has its root in Greek language. Other people have translated it into the languages we know. For instance, this Bible in my hand, is the English version of the Bible. This is New King James Version. It was translated from the Greek. That's the New Testament was translated from the Greek New Testament, while the Old Testament was translated from the Hebrew. Then there is no perfect translation. That is what we should know. And because there is no perfect translation, that is why we will continue to have new translations. New translations. For instance, today we have so many translations, so many versions of the Bible. You have, yes, the King James version, okay, the authorized King James version. Then we have the New King James version. We have the Good News. We have the Living Bible. We have the NIV, New International Version. We have the Revised Standard Version, and so on and so forth. So many versions of the Bible. Why? Because there's no perfect translations. And so we'll continue to have more translations of the Bible from the original language. So things, and this is so because things cannot always be said in a second language exactly as they are said in the first language. So it is good for some of us to know the original Greek so that we can monitor the accuracies of translations. So we monitor the accuracies of translations. We know the translations. When you are knowledgeable of Greek or biblical languages, now you are able to identify the defects in some of these translations. And also you are able to judge how right interpretations are. There are many Bible teachers on the pulpit today who go out there teaching all sorts of things. But then how do you judge which interpretation is actually correct? And how can you also challenge false teachers? There's no way you can challenge false teachers if you don't know the biblical languages. So it is ideal for us to know the biblical languages so that number one, we can monitor the accuracies of translations. Number two, we can judge how right interpretations are. And number three, we can challenge false teachers who confuse Christians by misrepresenting what the original Greek of the New Testament really says. Now, number two, new translations need to be made from time to time. New translations need to be made from time to time. As I said earlier on, uh, that's the more reason why we have different versions of the Bible today. So new translations need to be made from time to time as modern languages continue to change. Some of us will be involved in making new translations for our own languages. So we should be able to read the original language. Some of us who are whatever your ethnicity, whatever your tribal background, whatever your language, your mother tongue. So with your knowledge of biblical languages, you are able to translate the, the Bible into your own mother tongue, So, and number three, the Christians of each part of the world uh, need to explain the Bible's message so that people in their culture can understand it and realize how it applies to their own lives. Most books and methods available in the world today on Christianity were written by Westerners and deal mainly with the spiritual problems Westerners face. The Bible versions we have are written in English. Most of the books we have are written in English and written by Westerners. are imported to us from uh, Europe, from Britain, from America. And when you look at the context of these books, they were written to deal mainly with the spiritual problems they face over there. Not, I am an African, I'm a Nigerian. Now, the books the Westerners wrote, the books they published, the book they imported to us, which we bought here and we read. Now, these books don't actually address my own spiritual problem. These books don't address the spiritual problems, the economic problems, the political problems that Nigerians face, that Africans face. So, so, uh, so scholars from other cultures need to develop teaching materials that will make a real impact for Christ on people of other backgrounds. So, as a scholar, as a Bible scholar, um, for instance, in Nigeria here, we have the Yorubas, we have the Igbos, you have the Hausas. These are the three major ethnic groups, and then there are other ethnic groups. Some ethnic groups. The issue is, you see, we need to develop teaching materials that will make real impact for Christ on our own people. For instance, you have, as I said, we have the Yorubas, okay, Hausas, the Igbos, and we have the Efiks, the Bibius, the Tifis, the Igalas, the Domas, and so on and so forth. How do we make real impact, effective impact on these people? For instance, now, on my table here, I have the these books written by uh, wonderful authors the from the West. Uh, Here is Shaping History Through Prayer and Fasting by Derek Prince. Is a Westerner, and then it's a wonderful book. And then you have this book also, building that build a church leaders, by Casey Treat. Then there's this one, Explaining Mission, by Rose Peterson. It's also a wonderful book. And then there's this book by Gary X. Magzi, The Highway of Holiness. It's also a wonderful book. Then you have this book titled The Church of the Living God by R.K. Campbell. Now, these are foreign books written by Western scholars. Then there is this book on, this book titled The Returning King, A Guide to the Book of Revelation by Van S. Poitras. Then there's another one here, written by J. Adams, titled Preaching with Purpose. Preaching with Purpose. Now, next you have this book titled Networking the Kingdom by O.J. Brezin, a practical strategy for maximum church growth. Now, all of these books have Western background, and there is this one, Sizing Up a Congregation for New Member Ministry, and then written by Allen J. Routledge, and then you have the preacher and his preaching by Alfred Gibbs. The the preacher and his preaching. Then you have this book, the Way Everlasting by E.J. Young. The Way Everlasting by E.J. Young. Then you have Michael Eaton preaching through the Bible. This is we have the first Peter and Second Peter. Then you have a study guide to Ephesians. Study guide to Ephesians by Francis Fox. Now these are foreign books. These are foreign books. Foreign books written to address the spiritual problems, the political problems, the political problems, the economic problems, and the social problems of the West. But then we equally need books that will we need books that will address the spiritual problems of Africans, the political problems of Africans, the marital problems of Africans. We need these books. I have just a few books here written by African authors. There's this book here written by Michael N. Mbe, titled Rudiments of the Psalms. It's a very good one. Then you have this book written by Danfulani Kore, Dr. Danfulani Kore, the defender of widows and orphans. That's the title of the book. And then I have this book here, written by Ogundawo Emmanuel, that is myself. This book is titled Flesh, the Biblical Meanings. I also authored another book. This book is titled Know the Meaning and History of Bible Names. Know the Meaning and History of Bible Names. And also I have another book here, published by myself, titled Traditional Marriage and Church Wedding, a Comparative Analysis. Traditional Marriage and Church Wedding, a Comparative Analysis. I also authored this book. Now, my point here is we need more Africans that write books. We need more Africans to develop teaching materials that will make a real impact for Christ on people of their own backgrounds, people of their own culture. So we need to contextualize the Bible. We have to make the Bible speak to the people of our own culture. So we need scholars that will be able to dig into the original scriptures for themselves. So that is the essence of studying biblical languages. So we should not be limited to what the Western experts tell us. They have done a wonderful work. God has used them to bring Christ to us. But then we equally need to take it up from where they stopped. So that's that. Then number 4, many English technical words used in theology, science, and medicine are derived or borrowed from Greek. Knowing Greek will increase your English vocabulary. Number 5, studying Greek will make you familiar with concepts of grammar, which will make it easier for you to learn many other languages and will increase your understanding of English grammar. Now, The second part of what I have to share with you this morning is learning Greek difficult? Is learning Greek difficult? Is learning biblical language difficult? Now, some students are always afraid of the study of Greek because they've been told that it is hard. Some people learn languages more easily than others. But anyone of normal intelligence can learn to read Greek, whether Greek, Hebrew, Aram, or Aramaic. So learning Greek takes hard work. So you have to work hard. But if you are willing to work, you can learn biblical languages. You can learn Greek. Do not be afraid of the strange looking alphabet. By the second or third lesson, it will already be as easy to you as the one you used to, that is your own original language. Thirdly, tips for success. If you follow these suggestions of mine this morning, you should be successful at learning Greek.